Hey everybody, Adam from Team Swish here, and we're back with another Legacy League. Specifically, a league with GW Maverick. So this is, I guess, first, a few people on various social media platforms have requested Maverick. There were talks about some specific inclusions. I like the notion of playing with some of these inclusions in Maverick. However, I'm not really familiar with what the list looks like anymore. So I've decided today to play a league with this list. This is Evan W's 5-0 list from a league last weekend. And so I'm going to give this a shot. So some of the notables here in this particular list are, we have only one Thalia. So I guess this is kind of a nod to some other things, Deafening Silence, things of this nature, Gaddock Teague, Oof. Some of these cards just generally being better slots right now for combo. So I guess that Evan decided, hey, why don't we just try Game 1 being this kind of fair mid-range deck with some soft hate, Thalia. We have a couple of Endurance here, things like that, and then shifting into more appropriate hate and what have you post-board. So 1 Thalia, 3 Stoneforge, 3 Mom, 4 Noble, 1 Outland Liberator. So this is the new flip destroy an artifact or enchantment card from Midnight Hunt. And the notion with that is the deck is known for playing Kasali Pride Mage. So while this doesn't give Exalted, it's going to attack for more on its own anyway, and it's the repeatable trigger whenever it attacks. I like this well enough. Scavenging Ooze, normal. Questing Beast for Knight of the Reliquary, sure. Ramming Up Excavator. This has been reasonably common. Excuse me. The notion with Ramming is you are a very good Wasteland deck. And sometimes it is very good for you to perpetually Wasteland over and over and over and over again. So, why not find a way to revive this? The Scrib Ranger, of course, for all of the shenanigans with Knight of the Reliquary, things like Noble Hierarch, what have you. The other big new one here is Sigarda, Champion of Light from Innistrad Midnight Hunt. So this is 1 green, white for a flying legendary 4/4 angel with trample. Humans you control get +1/+1. Chris, I had some things to take care of, unfortunately, today, so that is why I did not make it down with you. But I miss you, and I greatly appreciate you being here now, and definitely will be there in the future. So Sigarda gives all of your humans +1/+1, and when Sigarda attacks, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, with the top 5 cards to your library, reveal a human from among them, put that card into your hand, and the rest on the bottom in a random order. Oof, 31, that's rough. So, Sigarda is a new addition to this deck, just kind of another sort of source of card advantage, plus an Anthem effect that helps to get around something like, oh, I don't know, Plague Engineer? So, seems reasonable enough. 2 Sylvan Library, Numazawa's Jite, a Sword of Fire and Ice, a Battered Skull, 4 Swords to Plowshares. Pretty standard affair. Do have a Dryad Arbor, Cradle, Canopy, a Karakas, 4 Savannah, some fetches, a couple of 4 wastelands, 2 plains, 2 forest. Also, Chris, I do hope that your event goes well today, and I really am sorry that I couldn't make it. So, sideboard of this list real quick. 2 Carpet of Flowers, 2 Deafening Silence. Deafening Silence, obviously, for spell-based combo. Carpet of Flowers for things like Delver or various other blue decks. 2 copies of Choke. This is going to be for stuff like Bant. 2 Surgical Extractions for some graveyard decks. 2 Court of Grace. This is also for Bant. 2 Force of Vigor for things like Urza Echoes or maybe Eldrazi Post, things that are going to rely on large artifact counts. Gaddock Teague, again, great for Storm or various other pretty much spell-based combo decks. Collector Roof, also this kind of Force of Vigor slot, anything where there's a bunch of artifacts that show up into play and have something to do. Oof's going to shut them down. And then Torpor Orb, which I can only imagine is for Doomsday. It's the only reason I can think of that you would... Doomsday and spells. Basically any deck playing Thassa's Oracle. So, that is where we're at for this league and this list. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Just as a heads up at everybody, the next stream may look a little different. I'm playing around with new setups here, so possibly new camera angles, different lighting, stuff like that. Audio might be a little wonky on the next one. So if you join me for the next stream and anything seems a little off or doesn't look or sound quite right, please let me know. I'm going to be playing around with a couple of things to try to optimize the space that I have here for all of my equipment and hopefully get everything set up and make this a little nicer for everybody involved. So, cheers! Chris, I will say though, you say gross we have 31, but like, given the state of things and given that, you know, this is the first event like this for Magic and Legacy you guys have run, like, 31 sounds rad. Like, I'm so happy that you guys have such a reasonable turnout. Like, that's really, really cool. And promise I will be at the next one. Just had some stuff that I had to take care of today that I really couldn't swing coming out there. And there is our first match. Ooh, and we win the die roll. Let's go. Oh, this hand doesn't really do anything. We have answers. We have this mom. Like, I guess we cast this Endurance, but, like, not super happy about it. I think I'm just going to mulligan this. It doesn't feel like it does anything meaningful. Yikes. This is also bad. That's great. Cool. Good. This feels like one we have to keep, but I'm not happy about it. I think in doing that, I think I want... I think I'm just going to put this Savannah on the bottom and then fetch it with Verdant. So that lines us up to play Verdant 1, pass, pray that we draw something good. We're going to keep this Endurance because there's so many places where it's good. This could be one of them if opponent shows us Burrow. This could also be just like any variety of combo deck. Alright. End step, fetch. Savannah. Could have fetched Dryad Arbor there too, but I don't necessarily think that I need to. I don't think Dryad Arbor is any better than Savannah, especially now that we've drawn the Swords to Plowshares. So, opponent show me... Okay. Flooded Strand. Sure. Another Ponder. Oh, this feels like probably some flavor of Show and Tell deck. It's just very strange to go Ponder. Did opponent shuffle the first one? Chose not to shuffle. Chose not to shuffle again. Okay. That seems pretty good. Play Ramanap Excavator. Probably get it plowed immediately. Force? What? Strange. Why are you forcing Ramanap? Is this where you fetch bulk and I figured out, okay. Plains. Could still be Omnital, could be blue-white. There's Tundra. This could just be Miracles as well. I don't think Wastelanding is good here because I think the reality of the situation is that, well, on that notion, opponent could just rip Jace and we feel bad. Well, we can just cast Endurance. And between Endurance Mom, like, we can protect. We can pressure a Jace pretty reasonably. 3 mana. Cycle Shark Typhoon. Sure, sure. So this is some sort of blue-white control. Could be Standstill, could be Miracles. Interesting. You have a 1/1. Rude? Yeah. Need to draw a mana source eventually, right? Yeah, this shark isn't particularly threatening. I don't see anything in their graveyard so far that scares me, so I'm just gonna jam this questing beast and like start trying to get the pressure on them. Sure. You are allowed to fetch. White, white, blue. You got it. Okay. Okay. There's Misty, which leads me to believe that they probably have Uro. Rude. Yeah, it's fine. So, opponent has indeed removed everything we've played even remotely resembling a threat. They're just going to attack with this 1/1 shark. Zenith for Night? Zenith for Night seems okay. It's not, like, spectacular, but it's fine. Actually, it's better as I think we just pass. Endurance can come in on their turn, block their shark, survive, and we can shuffle our graveyard so that we can Zenith for the Shramanap Excavator and just... I don't know how good Wasteland actually is, but... Cast. Green. Green. 1. So... this is going to target me. I would indeed like to use it. Cool. Declare blockers. This one. Eat your shark. There's a real conversation to be had about yeah, Travis, looked at there were a few of us that couldn't quite make it today for various reasons. Yeah, so it's probably supposed to leave a Savannah up in the event that they show me some nature of threat. We're gonna Mystic Sanctuary into what? Removal spell? Probably Plow. Could be Ponder. I'll let you determine what's important here. You're running low on resources. I have the Zenith that just can become anything of... Oh, rad. Cool. That's a Sanctuary for Ponder. Cool. Well, that's neat. I don't think wastelanding you is very good right now. So I'm just going to hold up Skew's activations because this feels like a position where something like a Snapcaster Mage could be atrocious for me. So I'll just make it not matter. Travis, that's reasonable. Hard mode would be just playing it without Force of Wills. That seems like a real flex. Opponent is pondering. What's happening? Keep on top, shuffle. What are we doing? Okay. We found another Tundra. Like, I haven't shown you a desire to wasteland you yet, but you're making it tempting. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I agree. Oh, hey, Murktide, how are you? Good talk. That sucks. I mean, I'm gonna give you 8 life, right? Like, you realize that? If you let me, I will give you 8 life. Is your last card, like, actual counterspell? Force of Negation hard way. Cool, got it. So... I guess... Oh, we're just making it bigger. That sucks. Zenith for Script Ranger? That seems okay. Zenith for Script Ranger seems very okay. I like this. I know you can't counter this. I'm gonna grab the Script Ranger. There's an argument there to bounce the land to get the land drop to play the Outland Liberator too, but... Yeah, it turns out everything's just going absolutely bananas. Rad. Cool. I like it. Fetch. Grab. What? None of these? It doesn't matter? Grab Savannah, I guess. Tap all these for green. Cast the sword. Do you have the plow? No? Rad. Good. I like it when you don't have the plow. Good. All of this feels very good for me. Yeah, I mean, Drain's a whole different kind of monster, though. Like, Drain exists exactly 2 places in the entire game. I wonder if opponent doesn't realize that if they attack with this Murktide, that That would be pretty funny. It's not like Script Ranger's a super, super heavily played card. Nice. Cool. Alright. So, there's some sort of blue-white deck, so I kind of want this Court of Grace. I kind of want Chokes. And then, like, Teague seems reasonable. GTA looks like it's terrible. What else? What else seems bad? I feel like Excavator's kind of gonna be its worst. Cut that. Liberator's still just a threat that I'm like totally okay with having. What else am I supposed to be cutting here? Library. Library feels like a card that I want in this matchup. Am I supposed to shave more creatures? Am I overboarding? Unclear. Like, historically, Batterskull is pretty reasonable against control decks because it's just a threat that you can pick up and put down and pick up and put down. But I also don't know that I necessarily need it, and the life gain seems like kind of irrelevant. So maybe we cut a Batterskull. And if we cut a Batterskull, maybe we cut a Stoneforge Mystic. Because like most of this seems much better. And then we have one more cut to make. This is like kind of a source of card advantage. They could probably play a Caracas, but I don't know that it super matters. I guess we're bringing in Teague so we can like, and all card draw stuff. We can cut a Green Sun Zenith. Like, there's an argument I'm not supposed to board in these Court of Graces because they play Typhoon and they can make end step idiots that are difficult for me to block. But I feel like if not for a matchup like this, why would you bother playing Gross? This hand doesn't do anything. Guess like the plan is the game that goes long, right? So 100% not interested in fetching for Dryad Art. Oh, that's the hand of Noble Hierarch, 4-drop, 4-drop. Cool, cool, good. Yeah. I was gonna say, are you seriously about to try to, like, force this Noble? Because, like, that seems bad. No, they're brainstorming instead. Which seems like a much more reasonable thing to do. So cool. Can probably, there we go. So whatever they brainstormed away, they didn't necessarily want all of it anyway. Cool. Sure. Like, that slows down the game a bit, but not to a degree that I'm, like, actually worried about. Gonna play the planes here because the opponent could reasonably have back to basics, and it's free for me to play around at this point. Yep. Cool. Fetch? This is where you show me that your deck also randomly contains Stifle? Because that would make me a little upset. Yep, Verdant can't fetch planes, so let's get this Forest. Let's jam this Knight on the stack and see what happens. This Knight's not really like a primary threat right now. So if the opponent answers this, like I'm actually fine with it. Because between Questing Beast and Sigarda, I have like much, much better threats. So, not super concerned if they deal with this Knight. Also, for anyone who hasn't seen my posts on socials, I am currently making the push towards affiliate. I am currently 18 followers away from the requirements for affiliate. So if you are currently watching or watch this video at some point once it is uploaded to the Team Swish YouTube, and you have not currently followed me on Twitch, please, please, please do so. It means a lot to me. Nice days. I would very much love to be able to start using some of the tools that become available to affiliates to start kind of building the community a little more. That would be spectacular. So opponent brainstormed, dazed, then fetched. Huh. Weird sequence there, but like, I guess. I'm also not 100% sure what the plan was because they... Oh, we could just do that. That's also reasonable. I think I'm gonna try to jam this questing beast because it just starts the clock immediately. And if we can start the pressure immediately, that would be fantastic. Opponent has, okay, actual counterspell. Welcome back to the format, friend. Sigarda is the next thing I think I want to jam. This is where opponent goes, like, land, Jace the Mind Sculpt. No? Okay. This kind of makes me feel like opponent has... Sigarda. Nope. Another counterspell. Or at least a very, very reactive hand. Because they've missed land drops. A land drop. And they dazed me. Okay. Is this where you show me plow? If you just plow Sigarda, like, that's fine. The snap plow? Snap plow's a little more annoying, not gonna lie. This is indeed snap plow. Rude. Guess instead of stopping your upkeep, I'm gonna plow your Snapcaster so you don't get to pressure me, and I can just Green Suns for like a Knight of the Reliquary or some such, and try to get something going that way. I'm doing this in their upkeep because it plays around Pitchcast Force of Negation, and it says if you do have the card Force of Negation, and that's your answer to my Swords to Plowshares, you must do it 4 mana and type the vast majority of your turn. Strand fetch. Once again, is this where you just like show me a Jace the Mind Sculptor and I get real sad about it? Because like, it's fair. 3. Yeah, there's the Jace. Rude. So, what's the play then? They've used 1 Swords to Plowshares. No Prismatic Endings at this point, which I have to assume they're playing. Alright. There's Catacombs. So, I can get... what, right? We can play the fetch land. Fetch on their turn for Dryad Arbor. Use this Green Suns to go get the Quirion, or the Scrib Ranger. And that's a thing that they can't Jace away? That seems okay. I don't hate that. Opponent could feasibly Force of Will this, or Force of Negation this, or various other things. Cool. There's Force of Negation. Cool, cool, good. So we kind of knew that was a thing that could happen. In fact, I basically expected that to happen. So, what is your game plan now? Nothing? Do nothing. Got it. I'm gonna fetch. You do have the Stifle. Okay. Yes. 3 mana, Green Sun Zenith. What do we got? You can't cast Counterspell. You have to pitch cast Force of Negation. Like, what is the plan? Yeah, I'm just grabbing the Scrib Ranger. This means you have to have Plow or the like. Which it doesn't look like you had on your turn. On my turn, which is rad. So that means you're going to try to find it with Jace. Or Druid in your draw step, which I suppose is plausible. Brainstorming here feels weird. Like, I've shown them a way to pressure their Jace. Sure, it's slow, but it is a way to pressure their Jace. What do we have exiled so far? A Noble, a Sigarda, and a Green Sun Zenith. This is, yep, ending. Okay. There's another one down. So your Sanctuary is still not active, which I feel like is good for me. That also feels good for me. It feels like exactly the kind of card I want right now. And I feel like I'm almost guaranteed to pay 8 next turn. I mean, they're zero real pressure. This library also just like beats the ever-loving hell out of their Fate Sealing. And they just spent a prismatic ending on getting rid of Scrib Ranger, of all things. So that feels very good. Please try to do the thing. Please try to do the thing, not realizing what your cards do. Okay. Sure. That's 5 mana. One, two, snap. Oh, snap ending. Okay. That's fair. Like, I still don't feel like we're under any real threat. There are so many cards that just, like, kind of break this wide open. One of the best ones I think we could see right now would be, Endurance. Yep. Because Endurance is going to put this Knight and this Questing Beast back into our deck for Green Sun Zenith. I'm going to cycle this Canopy immediately and hope to draw a card that matters. That's not a card that matters. Yikes. So, okay. This is a little scarier now because they have a thing to attack with or a thing to defend Jace with. And they have an active Jace, which is always kind of scary in and of itself. So, wouldn't hate drawing the other Sylvan library. Oh, you're going to Fate Seal me. Cool. That feels bad. The top card. Okay. We have a Noble. We have a Dryad Arbor. I'm basically 100% to trade this Dryad Arbor with this Snapcaster Mage. Okay. Sure. Okay, there's a Brainstorm. I mean, if you're gonna waste removal on a Dryad Arbor, like, I feel like that's a thing I'm okay with. I have so many more threats left. And Greenstone Zenith to go find the ones that I actually want. So. I really... Like, a big one would be Endurance. Simply because Endurance is something I don't mind if they bounce. Yep. That's a little unfortunate. This is one of the reasons I don't mind if they bounce an Endurance with a Jace. So the fact that they just have that is not great. But this does mean there's the Plow. Cool. So is this Brainstorm with Jace, get your Plow my Dryad Arbor, and attack for 2? It is. Cool. That feels good though, because this is them not Fate Sealing. This means they're not the ones they're not controlling what I'm drawing. And I really like that notion. Yep. You've cast Swords to Plowshares, targeting some of the funniest things I've ever seen, friend. I accept. Gonna take 2. Cool. Once again, I'm gonna Plow on their turn. Plowing on their turn just feels completely free to do. If we tie up any amount to their mana and resources, it feels inherently good for us. Counterspell? Hardcast Force of Negation. Cool. So, like, this is inherently fine. They spent a card to protect their Snapcaster Mage now. I've got 2 Plows left. A bunch of potential threats. They're Brainstorming again. Which also feels awesome. Like, it is out of this is out of Questing Beast range now, which is a little bit of a problem. Yikes. Basic Plains go. Alright. Ooh, End Step Hull Breacher. That makes me a little more scared. If you show me Days Undoing, I'm gonna have a bad time. Promise. Like, 1000% promise. Because you drawing 7 new cards, sure, you're gonna Brainstorm. That's fine. This feels like they have Days Undoing in their deck, just not in their hand currently, and they're looking for it. Which apparently they didn't find, which feels okay. Yeah. I'm doing nothing. This is all very fine. You get to, I mean, I'm not happy about it, but like, you get to do whatever you want. What's really important here is our opponent is also down on us by like a lot. Oh, that changes the math of that entirely. Gonna put this bomb into play. Can I do that? Am I allowed? Cool. Bomb has resolved. Nothing got pointed at mom immediately, which also feels great. Is this Jace just going to bounce this mom? Ending. Ending on mom. Yup. Cool. Good. I have no effects. You get to do the thing. How many monks do we make this turn? So there's Teferi. Gross. Good. Means one of the things that I wanted to see gets noticeably worse. I am going to keep playing this, though. A big part of why is because our opponent is like 7.5 minutes behind us on clock, and their deck doesn't normally win quickly. So this is going to go to a game 3, and when it does, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, sure. When it does go to game 3, like, the clock may well matter. And our opponent is very clearly using the majority of the time. Just gonna F6 here, let them do their thing, see how much time they want to spend on their turn. The answer is 0. Cool. Yep. Neat. Okay. I think I want this last green Zenith back. I haven't seen a terminus yet, so I'm not sure about this Teague. Court of Grace still seems kind of fine. Like, Choke seems absolutely insane. So, part of the notion here with this Gaddock Teague is that we put Teague into play, we shut off their Force of Wills, we shut off Terminus, and not that I think our opponent is necessarily apt to do this, but it does stop them from hard casting Shark Typhoon. So, I guess what am I doing? I boarded in Court of Grace. Never mind, this Teague's out. Good talk. Glad that we all figured that one out. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, this Court of Grace means that there's no way this Gaddock Teague should be in my deck. I think the 4th Zenith is the thing that I want back the most. Especially now that my creature count is lower. Like, I just want more things that find things. And I don't necessarily want this Oof, and I don't necessarily want Ramanap, so... I still think cutting the Stoneforge is correct. With only one piece of equipment in our deck, I don't think we ever need more than 2 Stoneforge Mystic. This is where the 1 Thalia feels kind of weird, because I think Thalia would be very good against our opponent, but I don't necessarily know... if it's necessary all these other places, and we have lots of things that are very good against our opponent. These Chokes, Court of Grace, like Questing Beast. Like, all of these things are good. Neither Reliquary. Still pretty reasonable. Even the Scrib Ranger, like, opponent has, like, been very upset about the notion of us putting the Scrib Ranger to play. So, I think I'm okay with all of this. Yeah. An opponent is taking their time. They might be experiencing some client lag, like Jake and I did a few days ago, where I watch editing the video, I literally watched just like seconds disappear off our clock. We would click to pass priority, and then it would come back to us, and like 5 seconds gone, 6 seconds gone, and that would happen over and over. That is unfortunate. At one point I had thought I heard that most of that was pretty cleared up, but it seems that that is not necessarily the case. Oh, I won the die roll, you say? Yeah, I want to go first. Huh. So, got a Greenstone Zenith. Got a Scavenging Ooze. Got a Sword Supply Shares. Wasteland. What, do we just keep this? We can just keep this, I think. Like, this Green Sun could get a Dryad Arbor, it could get a Noble Hierarch. If we... What? I think I just play Heath and say go. My opponent has also not shown me that they possess the card Back to Basics. They did show me that they possess the card Stifle, which is a little more... which is a little annoying. So the question is here, do I fetch? Do I wait? I think I'm gonna wait. I don't need to cast the Scavenging Ooze. It's not like the greatest thing on the planet or anything. I'll wait for my opponent to make a move. Oh, gross. Fetch and end step. Show me the Stifle. Oh, you don't have it. That's rad. Get Forest. Okay. Savannah. Play this Knight of the Reliquary. Show me your days. Show me your days. Okay. I mean, like, if you're hard casting days here, I think that that's correct, but... Counterspell. Okay, cool. Yep, that's fine. So, can just jam the Knight next turn. Play Wasteland, jam Knight. Play around days. Probably leave up Savannah for Plow on anything they might want to do. Yep, this is all fine. Show you another Knight. I will show you these Knights. How do you feel about it? You're gonna brainstorm. Cool. That's fine. Obviously not really doing a whole lot about brainstorm. Fetch. Sure. This is... okay. Brainstorm again. Sure. It's like, this Knight isn't even really that large. Like, I think our opponent is now at more risk of losing by clock by doing this than they were if they had just, like, let this Knight resolve. This Knight's only a 3/3. And, like, sure, I can make it big, but also, like, you could just find other stuff. Oof. Cool. Doesn't look like you found Plow, which feels great. Really into that. So, what is this? Ponder, sure. You know, if we were playing Taxes right now, had Spirit of the Labyrinth, our opponent would be real sad. Because, like, that's a lot of stuff. Ponder again. Yeah, I think you're trying too hard to beat this Knight. This Knight isn't even that good. Like, this is way scarier. And you're expending a lot of resources to try to beat this Knight. Yeah, sure. You got it. Catacombs. Fetch. Got the Stifle? You don't. Awesome. Just gonna grab another forest here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got a counterspell? This gets a questing beast. You have days. Okay. No, I won't pay for days. That's okay. Like, the way... So, night is usually kind of scary, but, like, chips are on the table, right? We didn't have a ton of cards in hand. Like, we had one land in the bin. We have this wasteland, but, like, they played around it. And they've also seen that our deck contains, like, multiple 4-drops. Cool. Sick. Scavenging Ooze. It's like a conversation to play the library first, but... How about the Sylvan Library? Does that one resolve? Instead of stopping your upkeep. Cool. I'm just gonna do it here. Sick. Yep. That feels very good. Yeah. I mean, I suppose, but like, if our opponent should be able to handle a Knight of the Reliquary reasonably easily. The way that I've seen that their deck is configured, I don't see how that should ever be a problem. So I don't understand spending so much energy to answer the Knight of the Reliquary when, like, they're at a minute 50. Exile this Knight? Could exile this Knight. Probably not going to for endurance reasons. Could have eaten something from their yard, I suppose. Probably should eat something from their yard. They do only have one plow. Gonna eat this plow from your yard. Yeah, like, and again, now that we've seen the Terminus, right? They just have so many ways that they should be able to deal with the Knight of the Reliquary. Like, I don't think that there's a world in which you're supposed to spend, like, what, brainstorm, ponder, all trying to answer a Knight. And now, like, they're under a minute 30. I have a library in play that they have to deal with. You got a Murktide. Like, that's unfortunate for me. I would like to activate Sylvan Library's ability. Pay for life. Put on top. I'm gonna cast this. I can clock you reasonably quickly just by, like, 4 Stitch Days, sure. Sure. So, the plan there was play the sword. If sword resolves, we're gonna grab Dryad Arbor with his Verdant Catacombs, and then just strap Dryad Arbor with a weapon. Get real weird about it. Alright. I think I'm still going to grab Dryad Arbor. Yes. Put on top. Put on top. Green, white, Sigarda. Are you Holding Force of Will? Snap Counterspell. Sure. That's unfortunate. Like, I think we would make him do all these things. This is very close. Like, I think, time aside, I think this match is a little closer than it seems. Draws broke a little bad off the library. Opponent drew very well, having answer for answer for answer for answer. Yeah. It's like that Scooz actually does things. And that, I guess maybe that was the reason to pay. Interesting. So, round 2 it goes. But yeah, Dress, I think that you're right. I think that maybe they tunnel visioned a little on it, or maybe their plan was just to like turbo out that mentor and like try to get that online as their kill condition. But which I guess with the short time makes some sense. But like, I know that their deck contains Murktide Regent. And so, like, a Murktide Regent also just, like, does all sorts of crazy things. And if they already had the Mentor, if I were them, my plan would have been just throw the Mentor into play and then save all those cantrips for after the fact. Don't spend all that time digging, like, trying to deal with Knight. I would just, like, play the Mentor. If it's answered, cool. If not, like, I'm gonna go crazy. And then, like, the tokens that it makes can chump block Knight for an eternity. And the Knight no longer matters. The Hamburglar. Uh-oh. Unfortunately, I have no ham or hamburgers for you to hamburgle. I've always wondered that, right? Does the Hamburglar... By the name, right, it would imply that the Hamburglar burgles ham. This is reasonable enough. Keep. Yeah. That's fine. Because, like, they're not the hamburger burglar. They're the Hamburglar. Well, that's unfortunate. Could be ninjas. Definitely ninjas. Rip. Unfortunate. Gonna fetch. I think most of them are off Wasteland, but I guess it's not a super big deal to play around it at this point. You gonna daze my mom? Cool. Glad you didn't. I don't even remember if that's a card they're playing anymore either. Yeah, you get a 4/4. Like, this is all unfortunate, but, like, sure. I have things that beat 4/4. This Heath is going to fetch just basic forest. Put this Script Ranger into play. Probably on their turn. Ponder, yup. There's also a whole lot of, like, cute things you can do with Script Ranger and Mom. Yup, there's another Ornithopter. What do you... Yeah. So, opponent is definitely playing ninjas, and they're also on the, like, never-ending 4/4s plan. Kind of unfortunate. It's, like, the thing that we're softest to. Sure. Play Heath. Fetch. Pass. like a weird situation here where like I almost wish this was Giver. Almost. Because then it could give Scrib Ranger Pro colorless. And Scrib Ranger could just like do gross things. Brainstorm. Wow. Gross. Brainstorm into Ponder. No land in between. This has to shuffle, right? Does not shuffle. Nat plays Underground Sea. Gross. Yeah, I'm gonna take 8. I'm gonna be slightly upset about it, but... No flash in Scrib Ranger. Yikes. Turns out they still play Days. Neat. Okay. So... I think now... I want to play this Noble. And... oh, gross. Like, Mom's gonna block. And then I guess we're gonna, like, start trading Questing Beast and stuff for constructs, I think. Gross. Not a great start. Opponent just, like, having the Foundry sucks. I guess we could find... oh, and second Foundry. That sucks. We could find the other... disenchant thing. I guess... just a forest is fine. Okay. Okay. That's also not awful. So what? No, I think we're just dead. Right? We're just dead. Cool. Yeah, like that was close. Again. But this choke seemed great. What else feels good? Carpet's pretty reasonable because of all the days and garbage. I definitely don't want Court of Grace for any particular reason. Carpet, like, funny enough, Collector Oof is actually pretty reasonable because Oof beats Retrofitter Foundry, which I think is one of, like, the scariest cards they have against us. I think I'm gonna cut the Endurances. I don't think they do a whole lot. GTA seems reasonable. Sort of Fire and Ice seems good. Gotta cut 3 more cards. GTA feels really reasonable because they do play a bunch of, like, kind of smaller things. Mom feels less important. Liberator also seems pretty... I can cut the Scavenging Ooze. That's not a thing that I think super matters. Sylvan Library might be a thing that's too slow. I think I'm just trying to jam Haymakers against them. Yeah, I think I'm just trying to jam Haymakers. Carpet to play around their dazes. This all feels fine. Yep. Oh, gross. I guess I, like, kind of wish this was a basic, but I'm also not, like, super opposed to all of this. This Cradle, if opponent is playing a Wasteland build and, like, they have it in the first couple of turns of the game, this Cradle is going to be a huge liability. If opponent... If opponent doesn't play Wasteland, this Cradle is just going to do, like, a whole bunch of work. Because I have to imagine, like, even if Back to Basics is somewhere in their 75, it's probably not in anymore. I'm gonna play this Mom. Cool. Mom resolving feels good. Island Ornithopter. Retrofitter Foundry? Gross. Right on time, oof. Right on time. Gotta love it. Yep, you got a 4-4. Which makes me feel like this oof is just resolving. It is. That feels very good. I'm going to take 4. Because then I'm just going to play this Outland Liberator. Liberator's going to blow up the construct. And then I just kind of get free reign. Ponder. Yup. I don't get why you fetched before you pondered there, but Outcast, sure, that's fine. Cool, yep. Savannah. This is the turn where we try to choke him. 2. Hold on. Do this smart. Outland Liberator. That one is good. Okay. You haven't shown me that you just, like, actually have anything really going on. Here's this choke. How good is this choke? Good? Okay, I like it. So now, like, I can wait. Like, they're gonna try to do as much as possible to keep this from flipping, I have to imagine. Because if this flips, it's so bad for them, because then the construct is just gone. Like, yeah, they're gonna get the Changeling Ninja thing online, but maybe gross. Didn't think about that. Probably should have cut some of the Stoneforge Mystic package with this hoof in play. Yeah, you're gonna attack me for 5. This is ninjutsu. No blocks. This is not ninjutsu. Yo, what? Rad. Okay. So beep beep. Beep. Nice. Cool. Beep beep confirmed. So, thinking that back again, I could, with it, all of this just seems so good, though. Like, am I supposed to cut some amount to the Stoneforge package because I'm playing Collector Roof and it's going to be okay? Or am I just, I think I'm just leaving it. I think I'm just going to leave it, and, like, if we draw the Nombo, we draw the Nombo. Like, so be it. Because both halves are very good. Like, GTA would have been an answer to Changeling Outcast, which is a good thing for us. Like, this all feels way too good. Our opponent has returned to burgle our ham. Unfortunately, they find us hamless. Yes. I love it. There's like 0 hate here, but that's fine. Turn 1 is just going to be fetch forest, put noble into play. Yep. Sure. This is where you show me whether or not your deck contains Stifle. You want a Days of Noble? No? Cool. Great. Good talk. Okay. Vista fetches the swamp. This Strix. Sure. Strix is fine. I'm okay with Strix existing. That's pretty rad. We just, like, do that, right? Because I think that that has, like, way too much upside. Go to second main. Always yield. Yes. We'll make it green. This is gonna fetch basic planes. Gonna cast this knight. Knight is a 4/4. Like, this is gonna mean most of, like, their dazes and stuff are just bad. Plague Engineer. Probably naming human, I have to imagine. That's not even really a thing I'm super worried about, for being perfectly honest here. Okay. Yes. Green. Play the Savannah. 4 mana. Green Suns for another knight? I mean, we could just Green Suns for Questing Beast. That seems pretty rad right now. This. Tap for green. Activate here. Grab. We have another Verdant? Yeah, we got another Verdant. Fetch Verdant. Grab Forest. This one. I want this one. Is that okay? We get the big dumb 4/4 with way too many words on it, and then we attack you. Neat. Ponder's fine. So, the other argument there is to get Sigarda, because Sigarda also undoes Plague Engineer's nonsense. But I think the difference here is that Questing Beast is just going to attack through all of this garbage. Just literally all of it. And that feels nice. Snuff out. So Questing Beast just attacked through all their garbage. They just literally took 8. Between the 4 that Questing Beast did to them and the 4 they just had to pay to snuff out. Like, that feels incredible. Sure. Yes. Green. Play this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then... Actually, play this Knight of the Reliquary. That one cool? Great. Float this green. Activate, sack. Get Cradle. Cradle, 3, 4, 5, Zenith. Now we can grab Sigarda. Like, another Knight's super reasonable. I just want the Sigarda, though. Just, like, show them a pile of beef. And, like, if we draw a single removal spell here, we start beating in for a whole bunch of damage. Like, they're probably obligated to, like, trade with knights. And that's kind of the beauty of it, is that we can just start, like, throwing stuff into the abyss, and that's fine. Yeah, I don't care about that at all. You got a ninja? Yeah, cool. Okay. We have Yuriko specifically. Alright. Outcast. Sure. Yep, that's fine. So I'm just trying to decide here, if we draw a removal spell, like what is... Okay, there's another outcast. This is getting a little spooky. That doesn't do anything. Sure. Green. Oof. This is where it's unfortunate we don't have any kind of weird utility lands. I'm gonna fire this off now. It seems pretty free. Alright. When Sigarda attacks, you control creatures. Control 3 or more creatures with different powers. Of the top 5 cards of your library reveal a human. So, like, there's actual value to be obtained from attacking with Sigarda here. Because it does just, like, get us a free thing. Because Sigarda, the Oof, and the Knight always yield. Like, yup. Guess we're taking this Noble Hierarch. Goodbye, Batterskull and Choke. Yeah, like, you're pretty obligated to trade there. And we play this Noble Hierarch. Oh, right. You literally just die immediately. That was very smart. Very good at this game. Forgot that the Engineer is still in play, because these Knights have just been so large that it hasn't mattered. Alright. So, ponder. This makes me feel like you're looking for another ninja, maybe? Just like try to Yuriko your way through this game. Which is like a pretty reasonable thing for you to want to do. I think I'm probably just eating this Yuriko this turn with this knight. One of these knights. If Engineer attacks, Engineer gets eaten by Oof. So I don't think Oof is very good right now. Opponent has shown me that they're on a different plan this game. So, with that being said, I don't necessarily know that we need this Oof in play. We still have access to the new Disenchant on a Stick from Midnight Hunt. I'm not ever going to remember that thing's name. Not for like a year. But, yeah. Also, for anybody who's kind of joining us in progress, yes, we are playing Green White Maverick tonight. If you are curious about the list itself, please type it !deck into the chat, and the Stream Decker bot will be more than happy to... Yeah. Rat. We'll be more than happy to give you this information. Yeah, grinding it out for sure. Yup. We're taking Yuriko triggers. Murderous Cut, that's kind of gross. We're at 1. So the whole line that I had just figured out with fetching with Knight end step, getting fetches, and like trying to smash in for damage is pretty atrocious now. Alright. So what are we doing here? I feel like kind of want to use this knight to grab something. I feel like that something is probably Dryad Arbor. Gonna let that happen. Gross. They have the Retrofitter Foundry, which means this makes a 4/4. They have 2 Retrofitter Foundries, which means they have to make a pair of 4/4s, which I was already pretty soft to. Just one was already pretty bad. Alright, that does absolutely nothing. I would prefer not to use Carpet's ability. So, we're dead to literally anything attacking. They don't know what's in our hand, but I don't know that it matters. Yep, I think we just go ahead and concede here. There's not really any way we get out of this. Unfortunately, that is a pretty rough one. So we're starting off 0-2 tonight. We've come close, but definitely not quite there. So everybody, I'm going to take a quick restroom break here, and I will be right back with you here in just a moment. Alright, everybody, we're back. Sorry about that. The free DD game, Travis? What do you mean? As much as I'm kind of a tech native, I might be a little bit of a Twitch boomer. Also, oh, right. Also, everybody who's just joining us, thank you so much. My name is Adam. I am a member of Team Swish out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Tonight we're playing some Legacy Maverick. This is a list that Evan W. went 5-0 with in a league last weekend. Some notables here: Outland Liberator, only one Thalia, Ramanap Excavator, a Sigarda Champion of Light. That's pretty much the big ones. Torpor in the sideboard for Thassa's Oracle matchups, but mostly pretty, what appears to be pretty stock these days. There were a few users on social media who had suggested that I try out Maverick with a bunch of various cards in it after most of them know me for playing Legacy Death and Taxes, and I said, totally possible. Probably gonna try to play Maverick as it should be first. So, tonight we're playing Green-White Maverick, and so far we are 0-2. We've won a game apiece, but unfortunately, not looking so great. So, we're going to get back in there. This is round 3, and hopefully, things break our way a little bit more. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% familiar with Maverick. I've played a ton of Death and Taxes. Maverick's a little different. You have Green Sun Zenith, but you're a little more mid-rangey, a little less prison. Confirmed, not the beginner room. Yep. But thank you for joining us, Sean. We appreciate it. No, so, Sean, this is as close to the deep end as you could possibly get without being actually in the deep end. Like, you're right there, your little floaties are on, and you're like, uh-oh, we're getting real close here. But not quite. So for anyone who might not be super acquainted with Magic, Legacy is one of the oldest formats of Magic. It goes back all the way from current, to the game's very beginning, with only a series of cards that are not allowed to be played for various reasons, whether it be power level or things that no longer fit with what they want in the game of Magic. So our opponent is one Stryfo, known streamer, known content creator and incredible deck builder, and it stands to reason we're probably going to run into, I mean, maybe some sort of Dak Fade control pile, but I also see that our opponent has revealed Yorion. They're in the play. What do we got? Right. Zenith can fetch us a Mana Dork, and then into Night of the Reliquary? Sure, this seems fine. Okay. Rad. Fetch Verdant. Grab Forest. Green Sun Zenith for Arbor. Make Jace remove our Dryad Arbor. So, for anyone who is familiar with Magic, but not necessarily familiar with the kind of legacy atmosphere, yeah. Stryfo is known for playing Sure, why not? Stryfo is known for playing control decks featuring the Planeswalker Dak Fadin, because when you discard a Punishing Fire to Dak Fadin, and then use Grove of the Burn Willows to return said Punishing Fire to your hand by gaining life, by forcing your opponent to gain life with its ability to tap for mana. There's the Dak, rad. Then you functionally negate some of the downside that Dak has by drawing 2, then discarding 2, because you return the Punishing Fire to your hand, functionally only discarding 1 card. So, this is where we get the business. That's bad. Alright. So hear me out. Well, that's also pretty cool. I'm gonna cast this Knight. Gonna wasteland this. Say go. So I think we're in a reasonable spot. There's the Grove. Grows. Drown in the Law. Hereditary mana value. Its controller's graveyard. So Chase, hear me out. Yeah, I mean, you get your P-Fire back, which is kind of what you wanted, but... So... Play Canopy. Tap for green. Sack this. Get a Verdant. Fetch with Verdant. Get a Savannah. Cast this Batterskull? Oh, no. I mean, I guess you get control of the Batterskull, but don't currently have anything to equip it to. And that's kind of okay. You also don't have anywhere near 5 mana, so... Yep. Bunch of fire back in hand. 3 plus stack again. Right now, you have gained control, sure. P-Fire the Noble, yup. Alright. What do I want here? I want to kill the Dakfin, that's for sure. The Scavenging Ooze feels like a thing I want in my life. I guess we're gonna go to combat. Dak. I have to respect it. You get your P-Fire back. Gonna play this Ooze. Gonna pass. So the game plan here is that we can eat this Uro. Yes, that's fine. Just can't currently cast Uro. But it is a thing that would be very bad for us. And now that he has this P-Fire in hand, we can't blink until we untap. Because in response to eating the Uro, he just punishing fires us. Now I'm going to eat this Uro. I'm going to go to combat. Going to attack. Yeah. This is double P-Fire? We got double... I mean... Yes. Sure. Can eat our Noble just to gain another life. I don't think that's useful. I'd rather have the double plow up. Chase doesn't currently have the mana available to put Punishing Fires back in his hand. So we're going to kind of do the thing. We got the Uro out, which is the thing we were scared of. There's another Savannah, which feels great. I think I'm just going to attack for 8 again. Gonna return both punishing... Okay. Gonna grab both of them now? Yep, gonna grab both of them now. Can't cast both of them, but... Sick. Okay, sure. This is all fine. We currently have the double Punishing Fire beat with this Horizon Canopy. We can sacrifice it to draw a card at instant speed. And that means that 2 Punishing Fires doesn't beat what we have going on. Another Dak Fate's kind of gross, but I accept. He's going to draw 2, discard 2. Discard the 2 Punishing Fires. Brainstorm. Okay. Huh. I'm going to let that happen. Use the ability. Grab a basic forest. Gonna crack this canopy. So we draw an endurance, which we didn't. If we had drawn an endurance, the endurance allows us to pressure this deck by casting it in Chase End Step, getting rid of his graveyard. Argument that it's supposed to get rid of ours, but like unclear. Golos is gross. What are you getting with Golos? Rogren Triumph. I had 2. So, gets one of his Punishing Fires back. Gonna discard the Punishing Fire again, I have to imagine. And another Uro, which is kind of unfortunate. Huh. Play this mom. Start pressuring the deck at least a little bit. Need to find a real threat. This is where... a matchup like this is where the Ramunap Excavator is excellent, because the Excavator will allow us to punish a mana base like this by recurring Wasteland repetitively. What do you got? Is this you casting Uro? Like, I'm cool with that. Alright. You get a lot of cards in hand, but let's see if they're... yeah, sure. Like, I'm willing to allow that. Put a land into play. We're gonna recast Uro now. Put it back in our bin. No, we're gonna Punishing Fire. Okay. Hell yeah. That's exactly the kind of thing we want to see. Questing Beast. Force of Will, sure. So he keeps... the reason that there are so many cards there is because this is allowing him to draw 2 and discard 2 every turn. And when he's able to return these Punishing Fires to his hand with this land, or whenever I gain life by any means, that means that he doesn't... he kind of gets to quote-unquote cheat the discarding portion a little bit, because he can just always discard these 2 cards that he can keep getting back. So, that's... this player is known for playing this exact deck. And as a part of that, this play pattern is why the deck exists. Because of the ability to discard the card Punishing Fire to Dak Faden, and then get it back turn after turn after turn after turn. This is Uro coming back. So in all of these in play, if that was what you're referring to, Sean, is because he has drawn, by drawing so many cards turn after turn, he has put a lot of his land cards into play. And my deck doesn't quite play as many because I have things that allow me to cast the cards I want to cast without actually using lands. The downside is this card Punishing Fire is very good against those things. Alright, what do we got? Oh, that's pretty gross. So I guess whatever it is we're going to do starts by us wastelanding this Caracas. We have some time. He knows the only card in our hand is this Badger Skull, so there's no need to try to bluff here. Azuro's going to bury us quick. He's going to draw cards, deal a bunch of damage. There's an argument here to take the Grove of the Burnwillows as well, because that is what allows him to complete this whole Punishing Fire loop. But I'm more worried about this staying in play forever. So we don't have very many ways left to deal with it. Both P-Fires are in your yard, but you're just going to return them anyway. That feels pretty bad. I guess making you take game actions is good. So you currently are capable of just return both Punishing Fires. Well, that's mildly terrifying. Bolt, Snapcaster Bolt. Sure. This bolt probably also going to target my face, so the Punishing Fires can target Mom. Scary. Turn the corner real quick there. Sure. Just trying to think. Joke seems great. Court of Grace also pretty reasonable. Mom dies. We take 8. Yikes. This is... Yeah, Punishing Fire confirmed. A hell of a card. And this Leovold made one of our better potential draws in something like Sylvan Library. Pretty bad. What do we got? I don't think that's going to do anything. I'm just going to pack it in here for the sake of time. We're already a couple minutes behind, and this is just game 1. Alright. Want these chokes. Want these Court of Graces. Would enjoy Surgical Extraction. Don't need Jite. Badger Skull is also a small liability, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Liberator doesn't seem like it's doing anything. Probably trim. A Stoneforge Mystic. Could definitely consider cutting Thalia. It's only of like medium quality. Have to keep this. Likely to see Plague Engineer. What's our other cut here? Do I cut Thalia since I'm bringing in a pile of my own non-creature spells? Probably. Thinking about Endurance, it feels like a thing that I still want. All of the threats seem good. I think I'm just not going to bring in these 2 Surgicals. I think that we We have enough ways that we can play around, that we can try to navigate around Punishing Fire, that I don't necessarily think that we need them. So I think that the game plan is just board in 2 choke, 2 Court of Grace, and then cut Thalia, Stoneforge Mystic, Outland Liberator, and Collector Roof. Then we submit like that. This is a bunch of haymakers. I don't hate this. It's very slow, but we just get to jam a bunch of stuff. Planes go. Sure. Inquisition. Sure. What of these things are you the most scared of? Probably this joke. Oh, the Sylvan Library. Okay. Game plan is we're gonna find an answer to... Game plan is we're gonna find an answer to choke. Sure. Here's this mom. Game plan is next turn to put this choke into play. Ooh. Oh, and we have a backup choke here. Feels great. Because this one probably gets countered. This one immediately gets countered. He didn't even think about it. I'm gonna leave this mom. I think I want this for future use. Okay. Sure. Ponder. Gonna try it again. Had the other force. That's unfortunate. So next turn we're gonna play this Noble Hierarch. Deed, sure. Maybe we're not playing this Noble. Yeah, we're not playing this Noble. I don't want to make your deed value any better. I also have no desire to fetch. Yep. Max punish. Fetch. Get a forest. Get a knight. Knight is a 4/4. Sure. You can return the Punishing Fire to your hand. I think this is all fine. Arguably could have played the Noble there. Fetch. Just have double Punishing Fire. Feels bad, man. Excavator. Wasteland. Wasteland this. Okay. Let me get back one. Get the other one next. I guess he doesn't have a guaranteed way to get the other one. There's our Noble Hierarch. This means that next turn, if he deals with the Ramonap Excavator, which I kind of expect that he will, that we get to cast the Batter Skull and try to make that function. Oh, Life from the Loam. Welcome to the party. That's kind of gross. Definitely would have taken the surgical. Oh, right. That's how deed works. Definitely would have taken the surgicals had I known that Life from the Loam existed in Chase's current list, but guess that's where we are. So, yep, get P fired, sure. Just kind of got to make you expend resources at this point. J sucks. Feels bad. Fate Seal. Like, Fate Sealing for questing beast reasons feels like the thing that you're supposed to do. Gonna flash this Scrib Ranger in, end step. Yep. You get to loan back all your stuff, which again makes me sad. Just stacking it up there. Both Punishing Fires currently in the graveyard. Gonna return them. Yep. Punishing Fire the Scrib Ranger. Oh, fetch first. Okay. Yep. Questing Beast. You. Put Jace to 1. If he bounces, I guess, yeah, if he bounces, which he didn't. So what's the plan? Return the other P fire, double P fire? Or like dig for Caracas? Yep. Double P fire. Sure. think we're going to try to get this Batterskull online. So the other argument here is to crack this canopy and look for exactly endurance. Yep, you're going to double P-fire me again. Or that's... Oh, just going to trophy it, sure. Yes. Grab... Basic planes, I suppose. Kind of telegraphs this Sword Splashers in my hand, like, a lot, but... This is feeling like it's snowballing pretty heavy. I think that we definitely still have ways to get out of this. Many of them involve the card Endurance. This the arrow? Yep. Before you get to do anything, I'm going to try to get rid of it. Drown, sure. Yep. That's unfortunate. Yeah, this is where it starts feeling pretty bad. Now we need an answer to this arrow. Not only do we need an answer to this arrow, we also need an answer to everything else that's going on, including some number of punishing fires. Grab Heath. Need to P-fire me? P-fire me seems... Alright. Gonna fetch. Forest. Yep, that's not what we were looking for. So, Stoneforge, if we draw a land, I'm still pretty much toast. That's unfortunate. Because the notion there would be land into cast Stoneforge, get sword, cast sword, equip sword. Hey Joe, how are you, man? We're, oof. And a wasteland. That makes all of the lines I just discussed far less likely. 9 cards in hand. Probably, yeah, triple grove is gross. Endurance, what, me? You? Yeah, like, we're gonna do it, let it do the thing. Oh, you're just choosing not to? That's probably fine. Yep, there's Dak. Makes this far less good. Need you to discard. You did discard both. Okay. Oh, 7 cards in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Snapcaster, drown in the lock. Drown in the lock counters Screen Sun Zenith, like by a lot. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Puts us to 7. Chases back to 16. I think we're pretty well out of this, unfortunately. Trying to think of any way we can come back, and I'm not coming up with anything great. Oh, Field of the Dead's here too now. That's pretty bad. Brainstorm. Yeah, so Joe, if you didn't see, we're getting bullied right now by Strifo. Yeah, that isn't really gonna do it. I cast Stoneforge. We get the sword. Doesn't do anything. Batterskull's already gone. We cut Jite. Yeah, I think we're toast. Good games, Jace. That was absolutely rough. Well, this is a 0-3 start to this Maverick League, which is pretty savage. Playing against Strifopile, Miracles, and wow. Yeah, apparently needs Monkey. I already don't remember what else we played against. It's kind of blacking out here a little bit. That's fantastic. Yeah, this feels pretty rough. I'm curious to know how the matches broke for Evan, who ran this list through the league. Oh, Ninjas. You are correct, Travis. Thank you, Ninjas. Curious to see how the matches broke for them. If maybe I'm not thinking about the sequencing correctly, or what's going on here, because this has felt like the Strifopile matchup felt rough, but also Chase is very, very good. I guess the other two definitely felt winnable, and it was definitely close, so I think that maybe somebody who's played a little more Maverick and is a little more kind of in tune with the moving pieces in the list might have a better time with it. Huh. We will have to see, I suppose. Fingers crossed we can rattle off a couple of wins here and get a little of our play point investment back, because it's looking pretty rough so far. But yeah, I mean, I think the core of the deck is still pretty good. I have questions about removing a bunch of Thalias. That still feels really strange. The Sigarda, I understand the logic, I think, but I don't know that Yeah, Travis, that's true, but, like, that's gonna happen some amount of the time. I'm wondering if, like, maybe I'm casting Green Sun Zeniths when I shouldn't be. Like, a couple of times, like, it's been, like, Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, Green Suns for Noble Hierarch, trying to accelerate what else is in my hand, not thinking about, okay, like, the deck plays a pretty reasonable number of lands as it is. We're at, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 24 lands, including the Dryad Arbor. So I kind of wonder if maybe I'm being a little aggressive about trying to find... I'll take the play. Being a little aggressive about... It's a no-lander. Yikes. It's not, like, great or anything, but I guess I'm going to keep it. What? Probably... guess ship this questing beast. Yeah, I'm not sure though, and that's kind of, I guess, what I'm getting at is I'm not being super familiar with the lines in Maverick. I'm not 100% sure if maybe I am, like, getting a little aggressive with casting my Green Suns for mana targets, or they're, you know, casting Green Suns for things like Questing Beast or Sigarda when I should have just been, like, getting a Knight of the Reliquary. Oh, no, for sure. Like, absolutely, you can lose a league to variance. Like, 100%. But I would always rather consider my own input. Yikes. Yikes. That's unfortunate. Okay. Like, I have a Swords to Plowshares. I mean, you're gonna let me cast it, so I'm gonna. Yeah. Like, this is the hot nonsense, right? Like, this is... Gonna attack. I mean, so they only drew 7, which could be okay. We know that there's there were 2 lands and a looting. There's a Lotus Petal, sure. Is that Petal gonna cast the looting? There's the Mire that we knew about. Right? So I deal her 1 time. Entomb. Yup. Yikes. Okay. So, sure. Gross. Yep, that feels bad. Sack creature, discard a card, lose 3 life. Cool. Yep. Sack this creature, discard this card. I mean... Joe, I think it's worth clarifying because there are people in here that aren't particularly familiar with the Magic scene. That is indeed a joke. Gonna point this here. Gonna fetch. Yeah, like... To what I was saying, though, regarding the conversation with Travis, I would much rather... This Batterskull. I would much rather assume that I have done something incorrectly and, like, more carefully examine my own play patterns than automatically jump to, Oh, I just got unlucky. Because that, too often, that's just like a really easy cop-out. Gross. That's pretty rough. Protection from creatures. Sure. Sure. So we have to draw another Swords to Plowshares. That's what you're telling me here. Gonna cast this Noble. Gonna take all my game actions. I'm not dead yet. Yeah, but to what I was getting at, I would much rather carefully examine my own game actions and make sure that I haven't done something incorrectly than automatically default to, well, I just got unlucky. Because too often that's just a cop-out that people use. Sure. Three mana. Flashback looting. Sure. Like, I need to find a plow for this thing. I need to do it in a hurry. When I get this thing off the table, then I think we're in okay shape. This Batterskull is going to help me kind of stabilize my life total a little bit. Currently, we're just in a precarious position. Entomb. Yup. Do you have an Iona main too? Because if you have an Iona main, you name white. Like, we're just done. No, they have a Grizzlebrand though. Like, that doesn't really change the situation. I'm gonna put the Batterskull into play. And then I need to draw Swords to Plowshares. Yeah. Gonna put the Sigarda into play. That does great things for us. Put this Batterskull in. Okay. Well, that means we're not just dead, which is something I like. Not just dead is reasonable. So we just pass? Oh, protection. I can't block. Right. So, the name of the game here is see what my opponent does. Because I'm basically dead. If they attack with both of these things, which they did. Alright, good game. Surgical. Deafening Silence is also a card that we're interested in. We could talk about a Collect Roof. Don't think that we need to. Chite sucks. Sigarda feels excessively cute. I guess before we cut the Sigarda, these moms are like super questionable. Could bring in an oof. I don't hate a Collect Roof. They're gonna play Mana Rocks some amount of the time. Is it better than anything I'm currently doing? Like the Outline Liberator has some text when Animate Dead gets involved. Sigarda's like a thing that can block a Grizzlebrand. Same with the Scrib Ranger, and the Scrib Ranger also has mana shenanigans involved. I think I just like this. I think this is where we're at. So, we're just gonna submit this. Four swords, 2 surgicals, 2 endurance. Yeah. I wish that we had more things to point at reanimation targets, but this is what we got access to. Huh. Like, yup. We're gonna do it. Mulligans. Fetch Savannah. Cast Noble Hierarch. What I'm going to be for Halloween this year is probably working. Our employer does let us. Yep, you're gonna Thoughtseize the Sword Splashers away. That's gonna be what it's gonna be. My employer does let us dress up if we are so inclined. Not really practical in my department, so I probably won't do anything of the sort. That feels rad. What do we have at 2? Liberant, nothing? Gonna green Sun Zenith for 1. Gonna get another Noble Hierarch. Because this also opens up Batterskull as a possibility of something that could occur. And getting Noble over Dryad Arbor specifically is like kind of relevant. I guess I was probably supposed to do both. The problem with that is when you're depressed every day, it's not really a new look anymore. Alright. I guess we just cast the Sylvan Library, which like I arguably could have cut, but ultimately decided not to, I guess. Attack. Kind of want to hold on to this green Sun Zenith in case I need it down the road. I feel like the Sylvan Library is pretty likely to draw me into a mana source for this Batterskull. That's a Lotus Petal, sure. You know about what? Zenith Batterskull? Yeah. So you know about the Zenith and the Batterskull. Always yield. Yes. Okay. So you've done exactly nothing so far. I think I just kind of want to pay 8 if I'm being honest. If I pay 8, I just cast this Questing Beast, attack for 6. Thalia next turn. I have Endurance and Surgical this turn. I think I'm just going to pay 8. This is like kind of craziness, but... It says I'm paying 8 versus Reanimator. Let's go. Get in. Always yield to noble hierarch triggers. Opponent's on a 3-turn clock now. We have 2 ways to interact. Like, surgical is probably the one I want to do first. Because if I have to endurance right now, I have to pitch this Green Suns to do it. And I would rather have Green Suns Zenith in case we need it. Apparently, like, I'm a lunatic and forgot to cut these Sylvan Libraries versus Reanimator. And the first time I draw one, I'm just like, pay 8. My Reanimator opponent has to be, like, violently confused. Because Sylvan Library is still in my deck. And I just, like, snap paid 8, like, pretty quickly against them. Awesome. There's another endurance. We're gonna put this on top. I don't think I need another endurance. Like, with surgical and everything else, I think I'm okay. So I'm just gonna cast this Thalia. Because it seems like my opponent is not in a great spot. So we're gonna attack for 6 again. Is that cool? I put them to 4, and next turn, like, just the Questing Beast is lethal, and we have the Thalia. Important now that to know we don't have Hardcast Endurance up and Surgical Extraction. Nice. Because we did put the Thalia into play. Do I want anything different? Not really. I could cut these Sylvan Libraries. What do we get back? Mom? I guess we could get a Collector Roof. Library digging us towards our answers, though, is, like, not nothing. I think I'm just going to keep it the way it is. I'm just going to have to mulligan more aggressively towards our answers. I like all of this. Not all of it, but, like, a lot of it. We have a Surgical, we have a Caracas. The Sylvan Library can draw us towards other stuff. Like, Gaia's Cradle is the worst card in this hand by, like, a lot. They've mulled a 5. So, this is going to be kind of weird if we go 0-3 into 2-3 and our first win of the night is a Reanimator. But, like, alright, I guess. But, to what I was saying, I think that the worst card in this hand right now is Gaia's Cradle by kind of a lot. Am I mad at this Gaia's Cradle's existence right now? No, not even a little bit. But, I do wish it was something else. Any threat. An endurance would be okay. Wouldn't hate that even a little bit. Thalia would be pretty rad. But, I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on. So, I think that I like this hand well enough. Sounds like EDHY. Sylvan Library Gaia's Cradle? Sure. Okay. Well, opponent kept. Hello, Endurance. Thank you for coming to my birthday party. Oh. I mean, it worked out. Not gonna pretend that it didn't. Like, it definitely worked out. So, unmask yourself. Sure. Let you cast the Animate Dead. Gonna pay some life and Get all your Grizzlebrands. Now this is where, like, you almost assuredly just lose the game. Get this Dryad Arbor. Okay. Savannah. Sylvan Library, try to fund some stuff. Let's see. No reason to pay life here. We have a billion ways to make this better. Cradle. Oh, Green Suns for 2. Green Suns for 2 doesn't really... What does it get us? Oh, Ooze. That seems very good. Let's just do that. Just gonna get Green Suns for 2. Get Scavenging Ooze. Say go. So, like, opponent right now is in a position where they have to put a thing into play and reanimate it. Cat. Always yield. Yes. I want to put this on top, put this on top. Play this Caracas. 2, 3. Yeah. 3, 4. Get. Knight of the Reliquary. Go to combat. Attack. Cool. Well, there it is. First win of the night is Reanimator. Not that I think that matchup is inherently bad. It's just that matchup is something where if your opponent is a pretty reasonable Reanimator player and they keep the right hands, them being on the play is huge. I think our opponent got a little unlucky. They mulled to 6 in game 2 and 5 in game 3. And it looks like neither hand really had a good way to stop us from interacting back, which is unfortunate. Sorry about that. So, we gotta rattle off one more real quick, and that gets us at least something for our troubles tonight. But no, like Maverick is still putting up results, right? Not like taking down a bunch of events or whatever, but like Maverick is still having decent showings. And I think that the archetype is still super reasonable. I know that, like I said, a couple of people on social media requested that I try to play some really cute stuff in it. I don't know that you have space. Being perfectly honest now, like, it sounds fun, but looking at this deck list, we've cut down to 1 Thalia because we're trying to jam in so much other stuff that I don't necessarily know if there's room to test. Like, one of the people got a hold of me and they were like, hey, put 4 Esper Sentinel in Maverick. And like, I think Esper Sentinel is a very reasonable Magic card. I think that there were Death and Taxes lists and like blue-white affinity style lists that played that card, and it has been good. I don't necessarily know. It seems great. I don't necessarily know that we live in a world now where... Cat. Gross. That we live in a world now where we can, like, play something like that. This is gonna fetch a forest. So specifically fetching here because I want to start putting lands in the bin for Night of the Reliquary. Because right as it sits right now, next turn I can cast a Night of the Reliquary, playing around Wasteland the entire time. Except that my opponent is an absolute monster and decided to bolt me. That's rad. They have bolted my poor sweet noble hierarch. To a degree, like, I understand the notion of Sigarda in this list, but I don't know that I'm on board. Having one Scavenging Ooze, plus endurance, 2 endurance, plus more sideboard hate feels kind of weird and wrong. So I don't know that I love the Scavenging Ooze, maybe. There's an Outland Liberator in the main and a Collect Roof in the sideboard, and that feels a little strange also. Especially considering we're playing a 3-weapon Stoneforge package. 2 of which, like, we actually actively have to pay to equip. There's a weird argument there to wait. Oh, red. Okay, it just didn't matter. That feels really good for me. Sure. Cast this Night of the Reliquary. Show you 4/4. Say go. Yeah, so, like, the things that I'm not sure about are the Sigarda, the Collector Oof in the sideboard. It's possible maybe one of the equipment pieces is just supposed to go. So, like, that's a whole series of things. Sure. Like, maybe we're not supposed to play Sword of Fire and Ice, which, like, I could totally get considering we're already on 2 Sylvan libraries, like, and we were trying to jam the Sigarda plan, which is, like, some sort of weird card advantage thing. Yes. Okay. Huh. Like... I guess I'm gonna play the Scavenging Ooze, right? Like... I kind of want to gain some life here. Guess I'm gonna eat my noble. If I get to a position where I'm, like, endurancing myself, I don't think that's a card that I want to redraw. So, Joe, I guess to answer your question more thoroughly, I think the answer kind of comes across as yes. I think that there are cards that I would... There are some cards I think that I would change. And I think that some of them are the bullets. Well, that feels pretty rad. Tell me, friend. How many? So, this is weird, because I feel like I'm kind of supposed to wait them out a little bit. I'll take it. I feel like it's definitely supposed to wait. I feel like some of the bullets are wrong. Yes. And by bullets, I also, like, include the Sword of Fire and Ice, because I feel like that's That is a part of the equipment package that exists for the control matchup. Yeah, sure. That is a part of the equipment package that exists for the control matchup, and as such, I don't know that it's necessarily something you need. Between Sigarda, Questing Beast, Night of the Reliquary is just kind of getting giant all on their own randomly, and all the other various things that we're capable of. I mean, yeah. I don't understand why you bothered playing the land for that. Between all the other various things that we're playing, though, I don't necessarily know that there's any reason to play a Sword of Fire and Ice. If you felt like your control matchup was bad and you wanted to have something on the board, sure, absolutely. In the main, I don't love it. I think that we've lost some. Yeah, we've lost some things that I would like to have access to. Mainly a couple more Thalias, at least one, and then like, I don't know, maybe another Endurance. I like that card a whole lot better than I like Scavenging Ooze right now. I get that Scavenging Ooze is like this kind of incremental thing and what have you. This is the Murktide region. Gross. This has got to be the Murktide region. Yup, sure is. And it's Lorge. This Grape Ranger good? It's gonna block your Murktide for like forever and ever. Sick. That's also some hotness. Take you off black. Sure. Cool. Yeah, like, show me Bolt. No Bolt? Cool. Good. Nice. Delver looking mighty suspicious right now. So we're gonna replay this Wasteland again. Play this Noble Hierarch. Attack for 3. So, like, I guess part of it too is like, this is kind of one of the matchups that like this deck is supposed to prey on a little bit. Nice. Is something like Delver, right? Like, Scrib Ranger is so good in this matchup. Like, so unreasonably good. And because you have all of these tools, like, I've Wastelanded Delver off all their lands. Like, they just don't have lands anymore. Sure, it's fine. And now because they don't have lands, like, I just get to do all sorts of ridiculous things. I don't need another white source. All this is fine. White, white, green, green, Sigarda. The Sigarda is just going to eat this Delver. The Scrib Ranger is going to continue to block this Murktide Regent. And Ramanap's going to continue to beat in for damage. But, yeah, so, like, decks like Delver are what you're supposed to prey on, right? Like, that's why you register a deck like Maverick. Like, my Delver opponent is so unreasonably behind right now. Yes. Targeting Scrib Ranger. Sure. Yes. So, like, I'm easy money trading this Sigarda for Delver. They're just going to swing for 8. Puts us to 6. I guess... Just gonna find anyone. So, we can attack with Sigarda. Sigarda could find us a human. I guess we don't want a human right now, right? What we're looking for is, like, an Endurance. Or... I guess we're looking for a Stoneforge Mystic. That's kind of what we're looking for. A Stoneforge Mystic for a Batterskull, or exactly a Swords to Plowshares. How many swords have we spent? 1. Cool. Yeah, I guess... I don't hate this notion of... Green Sun Zenith. Gonna grab an Endurance. Endurance is gonna target me. Gonna attack here. Kind of playing this a little more conservatively. Because now they're coming to a point where they almost have to leave Murktide home. Because I can block. And then just kill them on the crackback. What do you got? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to block with this Endurance. I mean, I'm going to move to attack and kill you? Question mark? Knight of the Reliquary, sure. There isn't a way that you survive this. You've died because you cast a Snuff out. Sick. Okay. Carpet of Flowers. What's up, friend? Get it. Choke seems fine. And I guess that's kind of it. Liberator feels like it's garbage. The entire weapons package feels pretty great. So, like, this is kind of where it gets weird, right? Is I kind of want everything else that exists here. And I still have to make 3 cuts. We could arguably cut Scavenging Ooze, but I like the notion of anything that gains us life versus Delver. Of course, Mother Runes is great. Swords to Plowshares is something that you're supposed to have. Oh, it's 2 Sylvan Libraries can go. That's a pretty easy one. We don't got time for that. And, like, we could talk about cutting the Ramanap, but I, like, seriously think Ramanap is nuts. I think that we have the ability to just absolutely smash them because we can get into weird grindy board stalls and just, like, Wasteland lock them out of the game like we did. Questing Beast feels fine. I think it's going to deal with most of their stuff. Sigurd is just a big dumb piece of beef in the air that's going to block Delvers all day. Block Dragon Rage Channelers. Again, bringing in 2 3-drops, maybe it's just the Thalia. But they're so mana efficient that feels like such a strange thing to do. Despite my best instincts, I'm going to cut this Ramanap Excavator. Because I think that it's the worst card, and I think that this is all very good. Like, Carpet lets us play around their dazes. Yes. This feels pretty spectacular. There's a very strong chance this Carpet of Flowers is just him to Turok on turn 1. We're going to have multiple pieces of equipment. That's a Delver Secret, sure thing. Got it. Cool. And I am going to fetch basics here, just because if we can get around their stuff in the early turns, I think that that's only ever good things for us. No, there's no need to. It's like we're going to be a little behind this game. Like that's just how it is. But I think that we have Forces at Will. Nice. I know a surefire way to get that card out of your hand. It's this Choke. Yes. I am going to use this Carpet of Flowers ability. It's going to make green. I think I'm going to play this Savannah even though I know they have this Wasteland. Just because I don't know that they don't have Stifle. And if I get this fetch land stifled, my whole turn cycle is off. Whereas them wasting this doesn't matter in the slightest. Gonna play this Choke. Yep. Baleful Strix. This is the weirdest Delver list. Opponent has showed us Snuff Out and Baleful Strix in their Delver deck. Yup. Opponent also just didn't snap Wasteland us, which feels very strange. There's another Delver, sure. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Knight, that seems pretty spectacular. I'm gonna make white. Grab a Plains. Play Stoneforge Mystic. Always yield. Yes. Grab the Sword of Fire and Ice. Ooh. Dress Down Dreadnought is a thing that... It's the kind of life I live. I don't know about Standstill, but... Yeah. You killed it. You can attack me for 6. Now I have to find an answer. That's an answer. Yes. Make white. Play this. Plow a Delver. Play a Knight of the Reliquary. Go to 5. This is like getting a little precarious here. Like, if they've got another bolt, that's real bad. What I really, really want them to do is just, like, make another land drop and, like, play a Dragon Rage Channeler or a Ragavan or something that doesn't matter. And then I'm just absolutely going to slam this GT, equip and attack. Without question. Okay. Nice. Yes. Great. Cast Cheetah. Equip Cheetah. Always yield to Cheetah. So, again, we can play around Stifle here and just gain some life. Or we can just kill their Delver. Instant. Yeah, we just kill the Delver. Well. No. I have to make them do the thing. Puts us to 1. Four, 2. Got it. Show me the bolt. Yikes. That is unfortunate. Damn it. Okay. Back to sideboards. Yeah, the fact that you can tutor for Dreadnought off of Saga is kind of ridiculous. Anything else I'm interested in on the play? I don't think so. I think the game plan is still just turbo out all this hate garbage and cross our fingers. Try to draw removal spells. Step 1. And that's kind of, I guess, talking more about, like, wrong card slots and stuff like that. That's another one that I have serious questions regarding. Wow. This is actually not terrible. I've changed my mind. This is okay. This Grip Ranger is going to protect the Savannah. That's where we're at. But back to wrong card slot type stuff. I don't love the fact that the only real removal we have is Swords to Plowshares. No Prismatic Endings anywhere in the 75. No Skyclave Apparitions of any kind. No, like... Wow. That is aggressive. Yes. There's just no other anything. And that feels wrong to me. So I think I just want to slam Scrib Ranger on their turn. No, but not having any other removal spells anywhere just feels like so weird and wrong to me. And I get that there's an active choice to do something like that. Yeah, Strix is fine. I just don't like it. Green, white. Sure. They have dazed me. There's a Caracas. Green Suns are on 1, playing around days. This is going to give me a Noble Hierarch, which I think is actually going to matter quite a lot because I don't currently have a second green source. Noble, get in here. Then play this Mom. If this gets dazed, like this gets dazed. I don't think that there's a world in which I actually want... Gross. Sure. I don't think there's a world in which I actually want to cast this Endurance, because, like, this Questing Beast is just so much better by a lot. Yeah, that's fine. Deal. I guess... I was probably supposed to leave up... Yeah, there's another Noble. That was probably supposed to leave up Plains, not Caracas. Kind of respecting the Ragavan here a little bit. So, basically, I think where I'm at is if this Questing Beast lands in play, I think that we're in great shape. Because they have shown us absolutely no ability to get rid of Mother Runes, and made zero effort to. This is a Murktide region. God damn it. I mean, I'm mad about it, but, like, I can't really do anything about it either, so... Okay. So I'm really tempted here. I'm gonna need mana. And that's just the reality of the situation. Always yield. Yes. Gonna make green green. White, endurance. Gonna endurance myself here. The game plan is we're going to try to protect Endurance to deal with this Murktide Regent, and then follow up next turn. Blue. This is where, like, it's super reasonable they just, like, kill this Mom. Gross. I guess. Okay. Yes. Green. White. Questing beast. Combat. Beep, beep. Always yield. Cool. Now that I'm racing just a true name, like, that feels very good. I think that we're in a very good spot when it's my questing beast versus your true name. And now this mom is on the duty of protect questing beast at all costs. Expressive iteration is fine. Yeah, now the only thing this mom is doing is protecting this questing beast from dying. Nice. Well, we got ourselves a 2 and 3. Kind of pull up the deck here again, discuss it a quick minute. So, 2-3 tonight, and put the Zenith on screen real fast. This is where we're at. I think there is a established core of this deck. I think that for some testing purposes, some of that core was cut in this list. I think that this. I think that this. I think kind of this. I don't know that this is necessarily a thing you need anymore. Where else? This. Like, I think these 4 slots are all flexible. I don't like 3 of them. I'm not saying that there is necessarily a correct thing going on here. I don't think you need this. I think that between 2 Sylvan libraries and all the other stuff that's going on, Sword of Fire is unnecessary. I think that Scavenging Ooze is very good. I think that with 2 Endurance and a Batterskull, most of the time, those things are going to cover what you're looking to do with Scavenging Ooze. I think Sigarda is an interesting concept. And if the meta was more Bant dominant, I think that I really like the notion of Sigarda in the deck. It's not. We're dealing with a ton of Ragavan, Murktide, multiple bolts kind of decks. And then a bunch of combo. That seems like a bad world to be casting a 4-drop that isn't immediately clocking your opponent. I get that it is good against Plague Engineer. I don't think that's good enough. Ramunap Excavator, on the other hand, I like that card a lot. I think that there are a lot of people getting very, very greedy right now. The Epic Storm is now 5 colors. That's disgusting. I ran into somebody in a league a while back playing 5-color Omnath. Or 4-color... I think they were full 5-color. With the 4-color Omnath. That's gross. Delver's running amok. People are really not respecting non-basic land hate. Because the decks are so efficient that a couple of Wastelands over a game doesn't usually break things up. This means it's not just a couple. This means it is 4, 6. literally got to Wasteland Delver off their entire, like, off of all of their lands. So I think that card actually makes sense, especially now that lands is also coming back. I think that is definitely something worth having. What do I want? I think I want another Thalia. I think with combo being so good right now, another Thalia looks fantastic. I think that I want some other form of removal somewhere in the 75. I don't know if that's Paths or Skyclave Apparitions or what, right? It could be it's the Night of Autumn. It could be Prismatic Ending. I think any of those things is good. I think you could still play Council Judgment. That card is still very, very playable. Our opponent just cast a turn name against us. Like, this is fine. I think I want more answers to things once they hit play. I don't want to just have to try to race and try to pray that I'm drawing one of 4 swords or some cute thing with Scrib Ranger and Mother of Runes and a weapon. Like, I don't get time. I want more answers to stuff. On the sideboard, this feels very strange. Court of Grace is a thing I think a lot of people started looking at when it got printed, and they looked at these kind of white X mid-range decks, whether it be Taxes or Maverick or something like Stoneblade, rest in peace. And they went, this is fantastic. This is just this card draw engine that also generates threats. Like, this is fantastic. It's very slow. It costs 4 mana. I don't know that this card is as good as everyone wants it to be. I think that other things that you could consider, like, I could see putting the Sigarda in the slot of one of these Court of Graces. Makes a lot of sense. I could see another Questing Beast. I could see... I really like Hexdrinker. People were playing Hexdrinker in Maverick for a long time, and I think that card is gas. I would love to see that card come back, and I think that there's ways to free up space for a Hexdrinker. So, I guess in this pile here, I want a Hexdrinker, I want another Thalia, and maybe another removal spell? Whether it be a Skyclave Apparition or what, I'm not sure. But another removal spell or answer of some kind. And then in the sideboard, I want those Court of Graces gone, and I kind of want some other grinding engines, some other way to deal with control. Maybe it's just Shifting Ceratops. That card is very, very strong, and I could see easily putting Shifting Ceratops in there because then your 4-drop is something you can guaranteed resolve and isn't going to randomly accidentally give your opponent's card advantage. So, all that said, I think we're going to wrap it up tonight. This has been cool. Maverick is a deck I think I need to play a little more of. I like stuff like this, and as much as I love Taxes, it is nice to shake it up a little bit and play something different. So, I could see playing some more Maverick in the future as well. But, that said, thank you so much, everybody, for watching tonight. I will probably be back either Monday or Tuesday. So that is kind of where we're at the moment. Not sure which night. I will post on Twitter and all the other various social medias when I get that figured out. Just gotta figure out some stuff on my end. And then, on top of that, thanks to all of your kind support, I am 18 followers from the requirements for Twitch affiliate. So if you are watching, whether it be on YouTube later or whatever, and you have not currently clicked the follow button, please do. It's greatly appreciated. 18 followers is not very many, and if you recommend this video to a friend, please have them give me a follow, because I would love to make affiliate in my first month streaming, because that would be rad. Alright, everybody. Have a great night.